Okay, looks like we're live here. Welcome to the show. Real Talk with Mary Grace. And we have the wrong cover. How does that keep happening? Sorry, guys. It's the 30th of June. June 30th, 2021. Welcome to the show. And we'll try this again. We're live. I'm Mary Grace. It's Real Talk with Mary Grace. And this is the last day of June. Hard to believe. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the show. Yes, we have notes. We have show notes. Let me just tell you, I put out a call for action the other day to for somebody to help me compile some notes for my shows so that people could reference what we did and certain topics. And Delia jumped to the call and jumped into action, and she sent me some notes. So you can go and look on the show from Monday, the 28th, and I just uploaded those notes, and you can just see she just put a list. It's pretty basic, but it helps you remember. Sometimes people ask me about certain shows and topics that I discussed, and I don't always remember because I don't always go back and watch my shows. And so this is a tremendous service. It's incredibly helpful, and I'm appreciative to Delia for that. It's not really my lane, so I am super happy to. I'm super happy that somebody stepped in to do this. It's great. Okay. So thank you, Delia. I appreciate it. She's in the YouTube chat right now. So if everybody wants to just give her a hand, that would be awesome. Um, and let's see. Speaking of YouTube, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up and then also make sure you hit the subscribe button. If it's red, that means you haven't subscribed. And hit the bell so that you don't miss future episodes. And also, if you're on Facebook, like the Facebook page, Mary Grace Media, follow the page, and then also like the episode that we're doing right now. Those are two different things. And also, please share the show into groups that you belong to. That is a huge help. And tag your friends. And then when you come to watch the replay, thank you for coming to watch the replay. I have a lot of people who watch on replay. If you come to watch the replay, please leave a comment. Let us know that you were here. I do read those comments, by the way. It's a little bit easier to read the comments on YouTube than on Facebook. We're also live on Clout Hub, channel 111, by the way. And so, like I said, I do check out the comments. It's funny, we have some trolls that stop by and leave comments. I guess they're too intimidated to come on the live show, but they seem to get bold when they come after hours and leave a comment. Some of those have been blocked, but it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Uh, all right, so here we go. A couple things to talk about today, just a few things. And if you're new to the show, I'm Mary Grace, and what I do here is I just give my commentary, my analysis, my breakdown of what I see happening in the news and current events. I talk about Real 45. Sometimes I talk about Faker 46, and I just give you I give you my perspective. I try to do that from a biblical worldview, and usually that people find that pretty helpful. And so I just wanted to let you know that's why if you just found yourself here, that's what you can expect. I don't really do breaking news. We have some shows that are, or I don't really do headline news. We have some other shows that do that. I definitely recommend that you check out steeltruth.com. And she does a show and does a show every night at 9 Eastern on that website. And that's a great way to get a rundown of the day's news. All right. So um, let me just look at your chat here. Okay. Yeah. So that's a breakdown. And I wanted to tell you something that happened to me today. I got up early and I went to an appointment over across town, and I was doing my TSA pre-check application so that I can fly places and hopefully get through the line. Hopefully, I won't have the same experience that Anne had, which is that she was denied it, and she was put on instead of getting the pre-check, she was put on a watch list by the FDA, which is just astonishing. Okay, but on that note, I went over there and I had to get my appointment. Now, when I signed up online, the first thing it said when it showed the location was, um, "Come in for your appointment, and you have to wear a mask, except if you have a condition that prevents it." It says it right there. And and so, of course, that's me. I have CRS, chronic respiratory system syndrome, which means that I have to breathe. And so I don't wear one, I don't have one. And and so I went over there, and it's a little small office, and everybody that I saw was walking in with a mask on. And okay, here we are. I think it's 468 days now since we gave them 15 days to flatten the curve. And here we are, and there's no mandate in our state any longer, thank God, and in our county. So I walk in, there's a big sign on the door that says you have to wear it. It's kind of like what happened at the VA the other day. And I just walk in, don't have one, don't even have one with me, don't keep one in my purse, don't have one. And you walk in, the very first thing the guy says is, "Please sanitize your hands." I'm like, "Yeah, no, thanks. I'm covered." And then he sticks the thermometer at you and wants to, do your temperature on your forehead. I'm thinking, what are we stuck in last year? Is this a time warp? What is happening here? And and I opted for the wrist um, temperature thing. I just didn't feel like arguing. I wanted to get my thing done. And so and that, but nobody said anything to me about my face. Everybody was dutifully coming in with their face diaper on except me. So I go back to the room to do my interview and fill in the forms and everything, and it's all computerized. And she takes my picture. Turned out pretty good, I think, for that early in the morning. And she takes the picture, and then she says, "You can put your mask back on." I thought it was hilarious because I never once even had one with me, and I just said, "I don't have one." And she didn't even respond. It was just such an automatic thing. And and so um hey there, Marty on YouTube. So it was just so funny, and I thought this is just part of her script. And we finished everything up, and then I left. The thing that I was thinking about, though, is it really, of course, it's disturbing because here we are 468 days in. It's been completely lifted in our state. You go into stores, nobody has them on for the most part. It's the minority that has them on. And then we go into this office, and it's literally like a throwback in time where people are acting like everything just started. It's just so bizarre. And so I was thinking about it because I thought the person that was working there, the lady that was working there, and the guy that was doing the check-in, this, sanitize your hands, do this, it's just like they're kind of like drones, for lack of a better word. I mean, they're like they have a job to do and they're doing it. They have a job to do, they're doing it. Hand sanitizer, temperature, check in. Hand sanitizer, temperature, check in. Hand sanitizer, temperature, check in. And that's their job. And I'm not saying there's not a place for people to do jobs like that. I'm just saying that is the kind of the mode and the mindset that they get in. Yeah, it's robotic. And and I'm looking at it, and nobody's questioning. Nobody is looking around and going, um, looking around going, "Okay, we've been at this for 468 days. Who's going to be the first one to say no more?" Nobody's doing that. And so it occurred to me again, which I feel like I'm beating this drum repeatedly almost every day, but there's a reason that only a very small percentage of the patriots actually started the revolution. Um, 483 days. I thought it was close to 500. Delia just corrected me. 483 days. It was March 13th of last year that we started the whole charade. All right. Again, so that's even longer. We're pushing 500 days. And my point is, I'm thinking to myself, I've been pondering this all day because it's disturbing to me that it's just so easy for people to get in this rut and just to keep saying, sanitizer, temperature, mask, sanitizer, temperature, mask, sanitizer, temperature, mask. It just, I don't like that. Guys, if I'm talking really fast, it's because I was listening to Clay Clark earlier, so I might need to dial it down because he talks really fast, and I think I picked up on that. Um, okay, here's what I wanted to say is that it's no wonder that it took just a small percentage of the patriots meeting in taverns to start the revolution and carry it through. It's no wonder that there was a very small remnant of the of Gideon's army that that liberated the city, right? That routed the army, that won the victory. I'm starting to understand more and more why, because the masses are not going to do it. They're not. They're going to. Most people are followers. That's just the way it is. And of course, as I was thinking about that, I thought about something that I keep hearing over and over because every time I listen to the George, um, every time I listen to the George videos, they play this one speech, and I just wanted to read it to you because it's apropos absolutely for what I experienced today. It's the outsiders who change the world and make a real and lasting difference. Nothing worth doing ever came easy. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. The future belongs to the people who follow their heart, no matter what the critics say. We must always remember we share one home and one glorious destiny. We all bleed the same red blood. We all salute the same great American flag. Our best days are yet to come. You know who said that? So, the first line, it's the outsiders who change the world and make a real and lasting difference. That's a speech that's worth remembering because it's so true. And what I witnessed today was a very strong example of that. It's the outliers, it's the outsiders, it's the people who are willing to take the step and to walk in without the mask. And I know that I told you a year ago, um, 483 days ago, that I told you that 483 days ago that the people who told me, oh, it's just a mask, I think you might remember that. You might remember me saying this is a big problem and it's going to lead to bigger problems. And a lot of people said to me, oh, it's just a mask. All right. Well, I think now you understand why I didn't agree with that sentiment because it never was just about the mask. It was always about control. And now we're seeing situations where they're trying to tell you that who, the only people who are allowed anywhere without the face diaper are the ones who've had the Jabberwocky. Now, if you think that you're going to force that information out of me to let me walk free and keep my face free and breathe freely, you've got another thought coming. But some people actually comply with that. And that's sad. And they put the face diaper on their kids too, because they're following that rule. They're following those directions. Oh, we haven't had the Jabberwocky. We better do the right thing. We better protect others and mask up our kids and destroy their health. And so that's where we are. This is where we are. And now it turns out in Abu Dhabi, they're limiting pretty much everything, every service to people who've had the Jabberwocky, unless they have some kind of exemption. That's I hate to say it, but I think I told you that was kind of where things were going. But anyway, the point is that it's never too late. It's never too late to be the one, to be the outsider, to be the person that's changing the world. And it starts with little things like that. It starts with being the one that, tells people in the store that you don't have to wear that thing. And walking into an office that has a big sign on the wall, no matter how intimidating that sign is, it's from last year, by the way. No matter how intimidating it is, that you just do it. I mean, because let's face it, the end of a bayonet was pretty intimidating for George Washington and the Continental Army. Wouldn't you agree? The thought of having that come at you. That was intimidating. Those red coats were intimidating. They had these, brilliant red uniforms that were paid for with our tariffs, by the way. And that was pretty intimidating. But these people didn't back down. And so when I go to a store and I see a sign plastered on the window and I see little footprints on the floor telling me where to stand, um, in the scale of things, that's just Manini. That's nothing. It's just, uh, um, yeah, it's just, yeah, that's not going to stop me. I'm sorry. It never has. It never will. And by the way, speaking of never stopping me, the store that almost had me arrested a couple of months ago for going in without the face diaper, um, I sent back everything, almost everything I ever bought from them, and I got a check in the mail. I told them I wanted a refund. I went through the house and pulled out all the stuff, and I sent it back. And I told them that I was breaking up with them forever and that, they had lost a multi-generational customer and future referrals. They didn't seem to care, which is the saddest thing because they went woke. And it's pretty sad. So for those of you who are LL Bean shoppers, that was the store. I didn't mention it before, but I'm going to tell you now. That's what it was. And when I talked to people in their top management, they offered me a gift card as a recompense. So I said, no, thank you. I actually want an apology from your manager and I want a refund. I never got the apology, but I did get the refund. And so I recommend it. And I recommend that you no longer give them the business. Um, that's just the way. Again, I'm not a huge boycotter. Those of you who've been following me for quite some time know that. But in this case, I felt like it was a strong enough issue that I had to take a stand. And so I did that. And so I'm publicly announcing that LL Bean has gone super woke. If you go on their website and look around at some of their stuff, you'll see um, what I mean. And it's very sad, very, very sad, because it was kind of an iconic all-American brand, at least in the South and in the Northeast or on the Eastern Seaboard. Yeah, LL Bean, Catherine, really, really sad. They treated me horribly. So I'm just letting you know, buy your muck boots somewhere else. LL Bean is the company. Millie, did they refund everything? They haven't refunded everything yet, but they refunded a significant portion of it. We've had so much trouble with our mail. We've had so much trouble with our mail that the check came in the mail, but I have a feeling they might have sent me a gift card for some of the items, and then I have to call them and get it, changed over to a check. But um yeah, there's a lot of okay, let me just read Diane's comment here. Diane says, I realize it's not the same, but I haven't stepped foot in Kohl's since they chose to sell BLM t-shirts in the middle of all the riots without apology. No, I think that's a good um a good one. And I actually saw one of their employees wearing that face mask that said that on there. Um Super cute shirt. Thank you. I go to Kohl's to do Amazon returns sometimes. Okay, let's see. Yes, I still shop at Amazon. I try not to shop there much, but there's some things I can't get anywhere else. Okay. Now, speaking of My Pillow, I did order the mattress topper, and Rural King sells muck boots. Oh, okay. I'm gonna write that down. Um, yes, I returned my iconic LL Bean boots. Done. No more. Won't have them. None. Not gonna use them. So, uh, send them back. Um, yeah, Kohl's also sells New Balance shoes. So it's like I don't know, but they stopped selling My Pillow. Um, Catherine says LL Bean has always been our Christmas favorite gift card place. Too sad. Yeah, go on mypillow.com and get everybody My Pillow gift cards because they sell all kinds of stuff, including dog beds. So there you go. And they sell slippers now. They sell sheets. They sell blankets. They sell mattresses. They sell mattress toppers. They have a great return policy. They sell dog beds, throws, bathrobes, pajamas. There you go. Problem solved. Mypillow.com and get the gift card. Make that your Christmas gift card purchase. I just solved that problem for you. They also have mystore.com. If you go on My Pillow, they have a list of companies that are American made where you can buy from American companies that go through their vetting process to get on that list. So I recommend that. Totally recommend it. Mike Lindell is the real deal. I've met him. I talked to him. I've looked him in the eye, and he's absolutely the real deal. And so I 100% recommend his company. Um, okay, now I wanted to talk about the border, down at the border. So Dad was down at the border today. He actually went down there with the governor of Texas, and they had a roundtable meeting. Um, they had a roundtable meeting. 6 towels for $49. Okay, I'm going to stick to this My Pillow topic for a minute. I'll be right back to the border because the comments are flying. The comments about My Pillow are flying here. We love our My Pillows. Great bath towel sets. I bought things from My Pillow. They're great. 6 towels for $49. Wow, the Giza sheets are nice. The Giza sheets are they're a little pricey. Is it worth it? I mean, even with the gift code. Um, My Pillow is a patriot. All corporate companies are the same. Yeah, My Pillow is. I don't know if you'd say they're corporate, but they are. Uh, the they're not. Yeah, they're American made. Okay, that's the difference. Yep. And I don't have a promo code for My Pillow yet, but Anne does. So you can use promo code Steel Truth. Pass on the love to her. And Vandersteel from Steel Truth. Okay. I bought the sheets when they were buy one, get one free. Oh, and that's the strategy. I'm gonna do that. When you buy the buy one, get one free sheets, do you have to get two of the same or can you mix it up? Because I want some of the flannel sheets. And has anyone bought the mattress topper? Because that's what I just bought. I'm kind of excited about that. I think it's gonna be better than just buying a whole new bed. Uh Um, hey, there's an outdoor store that I went to in the Shenandoah Valley. It's called Dominion Outdoors, and they're all American, and I believe they have other locations. So I would look them up. Dominion Outdoors. Yep, Steve Bannon also always has a code to use. Yeah. All right. Okay, dog beds, mattress topper. Joy bought the mattress topper. Okay. Um, Somebody says, "Love the mattress topper," and says you can mix and match the sheets. This is turning into a My Pillow commercial. Are you guys okay with that? I'm okay with it for now. Let me know if you like the pillow topper. Paul and Rach say, "Hey Mary, you look super cute." Thanks. It's summertime and it's almost 100 degrees. It's my favorite weather. Uh, my favorite weather. I love it. Um, I went paddling this morning. It's so good. The water's nice and temperate. The sunshine is perfect. It's great. It's great. It's awesome. Joy says, I have the sheets and towels. Just a really cool company. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna shift over to the border now. I put up a video of Real 45 down at the border. I shared it on my uh, I shared it on my Telegram. Here it is. Catherine, I know I need to get a promo code for sure. I'm working on it. Right, hold on. Here's what somebody says something to him, and it makes just listen carefully to what he says. Hold on. It would help if I turned the volume up.
Think I should do it again? You think? Maybe we don't have to. Maybe we won't even have to. We'll win it 3 times. I mean, make it a little bit different. Okay?
Hear
Think I
that?
should do it again? You think? Maybe we don't have to. Maybe we won't even have to. We'll win it 3 times. I mean, make it a little bit different. Okay?
Maybe we don't have to. They're talking about coming back and winning again. Okay. That's what I was going to say. Praying Medic shared and said he knows he's going to be reinstated before this is over. And then, of course, the question is how. Now, one of the things that I of course, think and have thought for 5 years, yeah, I do need to get a code. I'll talk to them. One of the things that I've thought, one of the things about me getting a code is I have to have reach. So I would appreciate if you guys would keep sharing my show because since I got deleted off of Twitter, I mean Periscope, I got my main account deleted. I don't get as much reach. So share, 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 share. All right, now here's what I think is that I think we need at least one more term in addition to the one that he won because they completely stole the first term. Who's in agreement with me on that? There's just no question in my mind. He spent the entire first 4 years fighting them, and it was lawsuit after lawsuit, and they just obstructed everything. And they had him under investigation illegally. They had his whole team under investigation. They had the campaign under investigation. They put him through impeachment after impeachment. There's no question in my mind that he has to have more time because it's our time. I'm reclaiming my time with my president. And I think that everyone here should do the same. Let's just pray that, pray it, pray it, pray it, because that is what I want to see. Now, I wanted to make some comments about his little roundtable talk that he did down at the border. I thought it was interesting. Now, I'm not going to break it down detail by detail. Sometimes I go into the details, but I wanted to tell you my impression about this. First of all, we know that the only reason Kamala made any attempt at going down south of the border, somewhere near the border, when I say south of the border, I mean like to the south. But she went down there. Of course, it was a big show, and it was because Real 45 announced that he was going to go legitimately, and so she couldn't be shown up, even though she was resisting it all this time, and the media was calling her out on it. So there she goes. She goes down there gallivanting around, doesn't do anything, and just cackles her way through um, the where was she? Not Corpus Christi. She was at where was she? Where did she go? See, I don't even know because I don't watch her. But she just made a big show of it. Now, he he had first of all, the thing that I love about him is that he knows the name of everybody in the room. He knows them. They're all buddies. Um, they're all they're all like his buddies. And this is what I meant, El Paso. Thank you. The thing that I was saying the other day about how he's every man. He sits in that room. He's got politicians. He's got sheriffs. He's got border patrol workers. He's got border patrol leaders. He has everybody from all walks of life, and he knows them all by name. That's astonishing. His doctor was there, Dr. Ronnie, who ran for Congress and won. And he just, he's joking. He's going back and forth. It's like everybody's, slapping each other on the back. And then when he finishes, he works the room And this is kind of what I was alluding to the other day. You know, he's working the room, and he's such an alpha male, and this is one of those things that just completely freaks out the people that are, oh my gosh, the patriarchy, right? This when he does this kind of thing, it just completely it undoes them. You know, Orange Man bad, exerting his masculinity, and and he's just I don't know, I just love the way he's working the room, right? He's walking through the room, he's shaking hands, but he's doing it I don't know, watch the very end of the video of the round table. That's the part that I was noticing. Not the speech he gave at the border, but the round table. It was just his body language. Everybody wanted to see him. Everybody wanted to shake his hand. Everybody wants to be him, right? And he goes around the room and he works the crowd, and it's just I can't explain it. It's just it's alpha male. It's that dragon energy, and he has it. And the thing that really struck me is when the person who introduced him gave him the floor. Of course, he called him Mr. President, and he called him Mr. President, and of course, that's we all know that's true. And then just through the entire thing, the way that he was talking, the way that he was talking was presidential. And this is one of the things that the never the rhinos and the orange man bad crowd continually said and criticized him and said he's just not presidential. But the thing is, he's sitting there, he has presence, he has magnetism, he has authority, he's regal in a way, and you can't fake that. You just can't fake it. I mean, contrast that with the guy with the reptile eyes who leans into the microphone during his speeches and and shifts into these demonic whispers. Have you ever seen Real 45 do anything like that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Even the media is making a note of this, of what Faker 46 is doing. He does that crazy, insane, demonic thing where he's like, and then we got them this, right? His eyes turn all demonic. Robin Bullock was talking about it the other day, and he's absolutely right. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how like Real 45 doing that? That's just it's creepy. It's creepy. I mean, creepy. It takes creepy to a whole new level because he's demon possessed, and then you contrast it with Real 45, who's sitting there at the conference table. You know, he's like this. He's super chill. I don't know if he's drinking Diet Coke anymore, but if he was, he'd have one on the table. And he's just totally chillaxed, and but at the same time he's in complete control and authority in the room. And he knows that everybody loves him. He knows that he is yeah, Mr. Personality. And he's presidential. I mean, he speaks with such authority. He speaks with such authority. He has a presidential mantle. He has a leadership mantle. And yeah, exactly, Minnie. That's exactly right. Facebook comments for the win. Okay, so he has big cojones, and he's not afraid. He's not afraid. Has no fear. And the other thing about when somebody is truly in leadership, when they're truly in charge, when they're large and in charge for real, and they command the respect of the room, they don't have to demand the respect, because they command respect just by their very presence and by their actions and by their track record and their history. These are people who know that he puts his money where his mouth is and that he gets things done. And when he walks into a room like that, he doesn't have to demand their respect. It's very different from Faker 46. Remember when he was giving that speech at, was it a military graduation? And he called them a bunch of losers because they weren't laughing at his joke. Do you remember that? Well, it's because they don't respect him. And no matter what you do, in a situation like that, you can tell people to clap, you can tell them to stand up, you can tell them to give you a round of applause or whatever, but if they do it, it's under duress. And this is something that I learned from teaching. When you have a teacher that hasn't earned the respect of the students, it's really obvious because usually either they're you see one of two things. One is that either the students walk all over them, they're a doormat, or they're just a tyrant. They're just mean because they know deep down that they don't command respect, and that the students don't respect them, and so they go to the extreme one way or the other, and they just don't command the room. It's a character thing, and with Real 45, he is he is truly genuine, and that is what people see in him. That's what draws people to him. And the people who, for the most part, I would say the citizens, the average citizen who thinks they hate him, they hate the version of him that they have been shown by the media. There's a difference. I've said this before. If people actually took the time to watch him and take that filter off, take the orange man bad glasses off, and listen and see what it is that he's doing and even look at his accomplishments, they would sing a different tune. And then also if they ever were with him, if they were ever in a meeting or a round table or encountered him personally, I've heard this over and over and over again. His magnetism and the way that he treats people, he's magnanimous and he treats people with so much kindness. And that is something that you can't fake. You can't. Faker 46, you'll never have it. You'll never have what it is that Real 45 has. And the other thing about him is that everybody likes him. Even like children like him for real. It helps that he's not a pervert. And so the and they know. I don't know if you guys ever heard the story that Dr. Gina told about her son, um, Sam. She has a son who's Down syndrome, and this is when the president was first running. So 4 or 5 years ago, Sam was, I think, maybe 7 years old, and they were with him. I think she took him. I think they went with her to the Oval Office, either that or Air Force One. But no, maybe it was at Mar-a-Lago. In any case, the Gina had her kids with her, and they met Real 45. And Real 45, got down to Sam's level and was talking to him and made him feel so special, went out of his way to talk to Sam. And her other kids were there too. And I may be messing up the story because it's been a long time since I've heard it, but the whole point is that he went out of his way to talk to Sam, who's special needs. And from that day on, Sam truly has believed that's one of his best friends. And whenever they go to Mar-a-Lago, he wants to see him. He wants to spend time with him, because he knows that is that that it's a genuine person. Children know. They know. I think it was in the Oval Office that she had him there. Um, anyway, but that's the story. Okay, and he's just real. He's a genuine person. Um, all right, now, yeah, it was very sweet, incredibly sweet. It's just who he is. Now, let me look at my notes here. Um, oh, I wanted to talk to you about something because people have been asking me if they think that I mentioned this before, but there's, one of the intelligence drops has to do with the first arrest. And there's a conjecture by some people that it will be Real 45, that will shock the world. And I, 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 I don't know. There's been a lot of stories going around and a lot of conjecture about that. And then also, as you know, the New York um, AG has been really just relentlessly persecuting him, going after him, uh, with, prosecutorial abandon, if you would use that word. I think I just made that up. Prosecutorial abandon. I think that's actually a good description for what we're seeing happen right now, and with regard to Real 45. I mean, the TDS, the Orange Man Bad Syndrome, has spawned a spate of prosecutorial abandon that is unlike any that we've ever seen outside of third world countries. I mean, this is Banana Republic kind of stuff. All right. And so people have been worried about, um, uh, people have been worried about what was going to happen. And Brian Cates was reporting on this. And somebody says, um, I'm writing it down. Watch it show up in one of their columns and they won't attribute it to me. Hey, Brian Cates, if you're listening to me and you use that phrase, everybody is going to know where it came from me, Mary Grace. Okay. Now, what I was going to say is that this, think about this. He's been investigated so much. He's been investigated ad nauseum, and they haven't found anything. And now they're going after his companies. Now they're going after his corporations. And the latest that we see is that, from the Gateway Pundit, is that they're going to indict his CFO, um, on garbage charges. All right. So what that means is that they have nothing. It's a nothing burger. It's just like what they've been doing all this time. They have been going after uh, people close to him as a way of acting out their complete and total insanity and aggression. It's it really is criminal, and it is. I don't even have a word for it. I've never seen anything like this. It's bordering on manic. Do you agree? The way that they're acting, I mean, it's like it's become an obsession. It's become this manic obsession with getting him, and I find it actually quite disturbing. And again, if people who are people who are looking objectively or willing to look objectively on any level at what is happening here, if you just took a step back and you took a slightly objective view of what they're doing and how they're doing it, I think that you would see that this is not right. That the people that are doing this, that there's something wrong, that there's a serious issue, that they're not right in the head. Because if you took him out of the equation, if you took any other subject of their endless investigations and their incredibly targeted prosecutorial abandon, you would see that this is not right, the way that they've been acting. I mean, it's like they're constantly mounting investigations in search of a crime. It's sickening. It's disgusting. Uh, um, Somebody said I went through the drops and there's no post that says the first arrest will shock the world. The closest thing is the shot heard around the world. I agree, and there was a different post that people conflated with that. Um, I'm looking at the YouTube comments right now, but yeah, the way that these people are acting and the way that they are going about this is absolutely, um, it is. It's like they're possessed. It's like they can't stop themselves. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that movie with Glenn Close. What was that creepy movie where she was in the bathtub? She had like, what was that? What was that movie? It really creeped me out at the time. Oh shoot, Fatal Attraction. Do you remember that? Where the character, it was a psychological thriller, and absolutely uh, she had this absolutely sick obsession with the protagonist. And finally, he killed her, or so we thought. Do you remember that? He drowned her in the bathtub. It was a horrible movie. I don't recommend you watch it. But the thing is, just when you thought she was dead, it was a perfect role for her. But she, yeah, the rabbit thing. And just when you thought that she was dead, she came back up out of that bathtub. I mean, it was really well done. I was so mad at my friend who took me to that movie because I hate movies like that. And I had no idea. This is before you could watch the previews online. There was no internet at the time. And I was blindsided by that. But the point is that this is what we're seeing right now. I mean, every single prosecutor, every single lawyer that's trying to go after Real 45 is is literally Glenn Close. They just come up out of that bathtub over and over and over again with that morbid insanity, that rabid insanity that is just going to kill no matter what. It's demonic. That's what it is. I mean, think about it. Um, every time you see them doing this, just think about that scene from that movie. Like, that's what it is. That's all. They're possessed. That's it. That's what makes people literally come back when you think that you've actually killed them. But we also know that we know who has the last laugh. We know who wins. God wins. And I actually wanted to show you something because I was reading in the Psalms. A lot of people read Psalm 91 a lot, but if you go to Psalm 92, it's really good because there's a line in there I wanted to read for you. Yeah, so just picture that every time you hear another story about them going after him or his associates, it's just picture Glenn Close in the bathtub, coming out of the bathtub just when you think she's dead. That's them. Um okay, now let me find this cuz that is where we are with these people. All right. Psalms. Psalms. Some people say Psalms 91, other people say Psalm 91. I say Psalm, but I'm going to 92. This is in the New American Standard, NASB. Was Clint Eastwood in that movie? I don't know. Um, all right. I don't know. Get off my lawn. Not sure. All right. Let me read this to you. I think this is really good. This is so good. This is starting. Okay. So starting in verse, all right, talking about how good God is. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by what you've done. I will sing for joy at the works of your hands. How great are your works, O Lord. How great are your works, O Lord. Your thoughts are very deep. Okay, hold off on the chat so I can read this. Pay attention because this is really good. All right. How great are your works, O Lord. Your thoughts are very deep. A senseless man has no knowledge, nor does a stupid man understand this. Guys, this is such a truth bomb. Listen to this. Verse 7, Psalms 92. Psalm 92, verse 7. Okay. That when the wicked, okay, let me go back. A senseless man has no knowledge, nor does a stupid man understand this, that when the wicked sprouted up like grass, and all who did iniquity flourished, it was only that they might be destroyed forevermore. Oh, that's interesting. When the wicked sprouted up like grass, and all who did iniquity flourished, it's kind of like now you see that picture of Glenn Close like popping up out of that bathtub. When the wicked sprouted up like grass, and all who did iniquity flourished, it was only that they might be destroyed forevermore. Think about that. Did you know that was in there? And so, one of the things that I keep telling you is that a lot of what we're seeing exposed now is that it might be cut off, that it has to be exposed so that the good people, the outsiders who change the world, can actually take the initiative and do their part. But also, God wants us to see it. And I had this vision the other day. Um, I have this situation in my garden right now where there's just a lot of weeds. I haven't really tended to my flower garden. And I don't know about you, but if the weeds don't come up, do you know they're there? I know that's pretty simple. The answer is pretty simple. If you can't see the weeds, do you know they're there? Obviously not. And so as much as we hate weeds, we actually have to see them before we can eradicate them, especially if we're not using sprays and all kinds of things like that. But I mean, it's just kind of a, I think that was a God moment that I had that revelation, because it's just like what we're seeing with all of the audits and everything, all the counting and the treachery that we're seeing, the behavior of these people who are absolutely reprehensible in their actions. And we wouldn't know, we wouldn't know that it actually existed had we not gone through this process of letting the wicked sprout up. Okay, then the wicked, when the wicked sprouted up like grass, and all who did iniquity flourished, it was only that they might be destroyed forevermore. You can't get the weeds until they come up. God is showing us, He's letting us see the weeds, He's letting us see the tares, and He is making a distinction and helping us to see this has to go. And we didn't see that before. Think about the Republican Party. Think about the Republican Party that um, that so much of what we've seen. Speaking of separating the tares from the wheat, the tares are the weeds that get in the middle, and you can't tell the difference between what's what. But what's happening right now is that God is actually showing us that He's helping us to uh, He's helping us to see and to distinguish those things so that those things can be cut off, not just cut off, but cut off at the root. And that is what has to happen here. There can never be another election like 2020. If there is, then there is no more America. And we all know that. All right. Yeah, the GOP really is a dumpster fire, isn't it? Oh my goodness. And they keep sending me emails, but they're not getting a dime out of me. Now we know that there are tares among the wheat of the good people in the Republican Party. And in fact, to me, what we're seeing in the Republican Party is actually it is more troubling because it's such a betrayal. We put our trust in people who were supposed to have our backs and who were supposed to represent our ideals, and who stood up there and talked about godly principles and things like that, and just completely um, you know, betrayed us. I, I had to filter my words because I can't really say the quiet part out loud of what I was thinking. And so I'm just going to say that they betrayed us. And it's a shame. It is an absolute it's an absolute shame. However, now we see it. We would not have seen it had the election gone through in 2020. Now, it went through in 2016 and we got him in office. I'm pretty sure they were trying to do a lot of the same things at that time, which is why everybody went into complete and full rage when they realized that she had lost. You know that. But now we have to root all of that out. I mean, if there's ever a time to use Roundup, this is probably it. And um, Hank Kunneman, somebody in the comments says Hank Kunneman prophesied about those who we voted for will show their true colors. Yeah, there's a deep level of mistrust. Now, somebody put one of the statements from our military intelligence insider. This is post 3713. The first indictment, unseal, will trigger mass popular awakening. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Marker 9, and then the initial. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So somehow everybody Everybody conflated. They made a statement that didn't exist. The first arrest will shock the world. It actually reads, first arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. That's very different from the statement that people think has been uttered. Um, so thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. Uh, but speaking of which, clarifying direction, that is what we're talking about here. We're talking about getting clarity and shining a light on what has been going on and the betrayal that we have had, that we've experienced from our own party. I, for one, as you know, I was doing fundraising for the president. I was at the hotel with the family doing fundraising, and it was through the GOP, and a lot of you donated. And then we were doing fundraising for the legal defense. Do you remember that? And a lot of you donated. And it's sickening to me that Ronna McDaniel, who is the head of the party, who's the chair of the RNC, um, pretty much just like faded into the distance and didn't do anything with that. Well, I don't know what she did with that money, but it certainly didn't go to legal defense to help us. They're not helping with the audits. They're not doing any of this. They're not putting any of that money into any of that. If there's anybody that we need to audit, it's the RNC. Uh, um, yeah, I think we do. That should be next. They should be next. And you know, one of the things, speaking of frauds, one of the things that's come out, and I don't, the jury is still out on this, and I haven't read all of the information, but one of the things that we're seeing right now, if you've been watching Candace Owens, she has been exposing some information that's come out about a candidate who ran in Baltimore, Kimberly Klacik. And Brian Cates was reporting on this. And the idea is that basically she's accusing Klacik of running a lot, of engaging in fraud in her fundraising for her campaign. And unfortunately, that is one of the things that happens a lot in the campaigns. And going forward, we're going to have to be so careful about what it is that we give our money to and give our attention to, and even the candidates that we think are representing our ideals. We're just going to have to get we're going to have to do a lot more vetting. We're going to have to really dig a lot harder on these people, especially people that come out of nowhere and either become members of Congress or get the nomination or become very close to getting elected. Because you think about it, you think about some of these people that we've stood behind, and all of a sudden they just flip, right? I mean, look at Dan Crenshaw, right? He's pretty much a rhino. He's like No Name Junior on some respects, and that's not discounting his service to the country. He's actually having some pretty severe health problems as a result of injuries that he sustained in combat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying politically, there are people that sort of rise up, they're shining stars, and we all get behind them because we want so much to believe in somebody and back them up. And then they do that thing again where they backstab us as a party. So we have to really pray for discernment about that. We have to be a lot more discerning about who we get behind, who we put our attention and support behind going forward. All right, now let me just check your comments. Yeah, Millie says every Republican GOP member revealed themselves for what they really are after the election. Oh, that's for sure. One of the things that Lynn Wood has been talking about is, when people say that they're a Republican, are they? When they say they're a Christian, are they? When they say they're such and such are they? And one of the things that he's saying is, who among the Republicans is actually pushing for full audits in your state? Who's fading away and not talking about it? That's something to think about, okay? Um, Kissinger is No Name's little buddy. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I don't think it's Kissinger, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Um, yeah, we have seen a lot of pretty disappointing, shocking behavior out of people. All right. Let's see. It's about, can you believe we've been talking here for an hour? We spent some of that time talking about My Pillow, but I think it was worth it. And I will be back tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern. It's almost time for me to sign off here. You have one more day in the month of June to get superfoods. We are doing a transformation group next week. Starting next week, it's a Facebook group. I know some of you are on Facebook, some of you aren't, but that's okay. I just wanted to let you know that there's going to be lives so that people can get support. So if you have a weight loss goal, if you're dealing with inflammation, if you're dealing with sleeplessness, if you're dealing with fatigue, if you're dealing with joint pain, those kinds of things, make sure that you contact me, info@marygracemedia.com, so that you can get a promo code and save over $100 off of your superfoods transformation. That is a 30-day pack. That is a 30-day pack that gives you everything you need. Um, uh, that gives you everything you need to do this transformation. Some people do 30 days, some people do 60, some people do 90. People are loving the superfoods. I love it. It's pretty much the staple of my diet, and it's so easy. It's portable. It's easy to travel with. Somebody just pointed out one more day. Today's the 30th. Exactly. You have a few more hours if you want to buy something and get it for next week. So info@marygracemedia.com. That's how you can do it. I will give you the promo code so that you can save over $100 off of your transformation pack. All right. I think that's it for today's show. I will be back tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern. And all of you who pray for me, I appreciate that. Keep me in your prayers. All of you who pray for Real 45, thank you. Pray for his wife. Um, pray for the people who run Vogue magazine who literally can't see a model if she's right in front of their face. They maybe they had like one job and they had 4 years to do it and they missed. I don't know what to say. Um, so uh, anyway, info@marygracemedia.com. Send me a message. I'll get you the promo code. And I think that's it. I will be back tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern. Thanks again, everybody, for your prayers. And thank you, Delia, for doing the show notes. You guys let me know what you think. Go back on the YouTube from Monday and look at what we have up there already. Give me some feedback. Tell me if it helps you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thank you to all of my moderators. And Scott just came in on YouTube. You're extremely late because I'm signing off. Oh, by the way, happy 4th. That's coming up. I like to say happy Independence Day because there's so much more. That's what it is. It's Independence Day. It's not just the 4th. Okay. It's Independence Day. Millie said, oh, wait. What am I waiting for, Millie? I was about to sign off. What am I waiting for? Quick, tell me. Oh, Miss Linda is in the hospital. She needs our prayers. Oh, wow. I was wondering where she was. You guys know Linda, who's in our chat. She's one of our moderators. She is in the hospital. So please, okay, put her in your prayers. Thank you, Millie. Thank you for telling us that. Please pray for Linda. Um, she is she just went camping. Um, okay. She has she has a lot of she has COPD, you guys. She has a lot of breathing problems. So let's just pray that God would open up her lungs and just completely heal her up right now, that she would be out of the hospital even before tonight. Praying for Linda. Thank you guys. Okay. All right. Thank you, Millie. All right, we will be back on tomorrow. We'll be back on tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern. And thank you guys, everybody, for praying. Have a wonderful evening.